Hello everyone, welcome to episode 64 of this awesome, amazing Osu Let's Play series. In the last episode, I talked about live streaming and I gave my thoughts on getting into live streaming as an Osu player. And in this episode, I want to talk about what's called derusting. So basically, you haven't played in a long time and maybe you're rusty and you're not playing as well as you did before. So I'll talk about basically what that means and also the difference between rust and taking a healthy break, things like that. But before we get into that, as usual, I'd like to shout out that I live stream every single day over at twitch.tv, so that will be linked in the description. But if you want to hang out with me or watch me play this game live, ask me questions, anything like that, please stop by, say hello. And also bonus points if you tell me that you came from this Let's Play series. We'll be very happy to see you there. So with that, rust, I already sort of defined it as basically, yeah, you just have not played this game in a while, and yeah, okay, so basic terms, rust, okay, so you say that you're rusty, right? I don't think you usually say that you have a lot of rust. Technically that's correct, but that doesn't really sound natural. But yeah, and then you'd say derust, or I need to derust, or I am derusting, things like that, or yeah, I'm in derust mode. Okay, I don't think anyone says that. But let's say you took a break for okay, probably pretty common example is maybe like 2 weeks. Like maybe you were on vacation or something like that, or you like forgot about the game for like 2 weeks and you're like, oh shoot, Osu, I remember that game. And I would say, okay, so let's actually talk about the difference between like, okay, oh, which one should I start with? Start with derusting or, I guess, breaks, difference between breaks. Okay, let's talk about how to derust naturally. And I have a couple of other videos on my channel about this, but basically you want to like play stuff gradually. Like, okay, okay, when you're learning, okay, let's say you're breaking past the 5-star wall for the first time, like getting better at the game and like learning to play 5-star maps. And then you take a break, and then like all of a sudden you can barely even play 4 stars, let alone 5. And you're like, oh my god, dude, I cannot play these maps anymore. I'm so bad at the game now. Oh, also, okay, difference between being rusty and being washed up. I'll talk about that as well later. But yeah, let's see. So okay, so the first time you broke past the 5-star barrier, it's going to be a lot harder than when you're doing it, I guess, for the second time. When you're like relearning the game or derusting, that is a lot harder. So it is a lot easier to do it while derusting, but you do need to keep in mind that you can't jump right back into 5 stars if it's not within your comfort range anymore. Oh, wait, look at this. What is this? What is this little graph? Let's go kinda. Graph avatar. Okay. Let's see. Next map on the list. Banger, some 1-minute bangers in this episode. So I think just understanding the like basic or like healthy warm-up habits, and make sure you take the game gradually. It could take like either a couple of days, or it might even only take 1 session depending on how rusty you felt. It also could take even a couple of weeks to really get back to the shape that you were in before. Like if you used to really play this game a lot, wait, hello? I'm actually gonna fail out. What? Wait, what is this map? Huh? Wait. HP 6? How did I almost die? Okay, I'm just gonna play with no fail. I don't know how I was dying so quickly. That's interesting. Okay, anyway. So let's talk about, I guess, taking a healthy break. And like, I feel like a lot of people get worried about taking breaks because they don't want to get rusty. And I think that's valid, obviously, but it is also valid that, okay, so I've talked about this in I don't know, a couple YouTube clips, live stream clips that are on my channel, but I'll mention here as well that, okay, a good way to understand like why you should take breaks is basically imagine that like your brain has like an ink pen with which to write down like the skill that you've trained, and that pen has a very limited amount of ink. And if you see it, in order to restock the ink in that pen, you need to take a break. So that's your brain's, you know, swapping out the ink cartridge basically, and like refilling the ink that it has to write down stuff that it's like you practice something and your brain's like, okay, gotta write that down. Then at some point, if you don't take a break, then your brain is gonna run out of ink and you're not gonna be able to write stuff down. Or maybe you would be able to, but have you ever tried writing with like a really, really bad pen that like technically you can read it, but also like it just sucks, and you're probably better off even like writing over it again and again? That's basically the idea, I feel like, and that sort of hopefully illustrates why taking breaks is important. So you don't need to play every single day to not be rusty, and also I think like the amount that you're already adapted to playing is going to determine how quickly you get rusty in the first place. Some people only play like once or twice a week, and that is like enough for them, and like they're so used to it that they don't get rusty, I guess. Turn this off. Like if you're already used to only playing twice a week, then your brain is sort of adapted to that, as opposed to like if you play every single day and then suddenly you take like a 5-day break, then it might take a session, like maybe your aim feels off or something like that. But also sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes you take a decently long break and you just are not really that rusty. Like maybe your tapping speed isn't like super good, but for the most part you're playing pretty well. And I guess that's just sort of the effects of taking a nice healthy break in this game. As I think I, along with many other people, would advise, please don't force yourself to play such a physically demanding game like this. Even people who like, say you're like learning to like, I don't know, you're like working out or something, like people recommend you to exercise regularly, but not every single day, because that doesn't give your body enough time to rest. So yeah, let's see. So the difference between being rusty and being washed up, let me think. So being rusty is the result of having taken a break, and being washed up is not the result of taking a break, I think. But both of them are characterized by not playing as well as you used to be. So hopefully that sort of makes sense. Like when you're rusty, you're not playing well just because you haven't played it in a while. But if you're washed up, you're not playing as well as you used to, but despite that, you're still like, you've still been practicing like very, very regularly as you have been in the past. I think if you've been playing for less than like 3 or 4 or even 5 years, I don't think it's fair to say that you're washed up, even if you're playing worse than you did a couple months ago. Yeah, I don't know. That's just in my experience, my take on that. I'm very interested, okay, now that this is unrelated, but this heat map, I've only ever really seen my heat maps. So I don't actually know like what other people's would look like. Like I don't know if like watching someone else's replay would show. Okay, I guess wait, let me see. Shoot. Okay, this is a bit of an experiment in this episode. I think hopefully I can like scrub all the way to the end of the replay, and then like it will just show the information. Please. Oh shit! It only shows the notes that had been played. Okay, well, okay, you know, whatever. Okay, whatever. All right, let's see. Banger, let's go. So, I guess advice for derusting. Okay, one thing is like sometimes you take a break and then you also like when you come back, you're like you slightly change up your setup or something. Okay, I guess a common. Okay, actually maybe not that common, but okay, let's say that you like moved setups or something, like you got a new desk or like you moved places, and you didn't play for like a week or something because of, you know, you're dealing with the move, and then when you're at your new place, you're setting up your new desk, and you sort of put your tablet and keyboard in slightly different places than you used to, and you don't really realize, but that's actually sort of making your gameplay worse than it used to be. That is actually something that happened to me when I moved for college is I was like, oh, my aim is so bad now. I miss being back at my old place. And I think the reason largely was actually because my chair at my new place was too high. Like, I went back to visit my old place and I realized that my chair was so much lower and it was so much easier to aim like that. And I was like, oh my god, I've been trolling this whole time. No wonder. So I went back to my new place and I put my chair lower and actually just fixed everything. So I guess that also is just a testament to how like there's a lot of things that go into like aim comfort or like setup comfort in general. And not just the position of your tablet on your desk, but also position of your hand on your tablet and like how far back you're sitting, position of your monitor, things like that. So, and obviously chair position, tablet position relative to your keyboard, I don't know, keyboard height, hand, I don't know, just so many things, okay? So if you're derusting, okay, another thing with derusting is that if you're derusting, then it's actually a really good opportunity to like add in new habits that you were like kind of too lazy to build in the past. So me, for example, when I was learning hidden, this was back in like 2015, and at the time I wanted to learn hidden, but I was so like I could not read it at all. Like I was so just hidden, like I was like no mod only. I was like, I would try hidden like once or twice and I'm like, there's literally no way anyone can actually play this. Like that's literally no. But then I went on vacation for like 2 weeks or something, or 2.5 weeks. And I came back and I was like, you know what? I think it's time. I think I want to learn hidden. And so I basically derusted with hidden, and I was already a lot better at nomad than hidden. So if I was derusting with hidden, it sort of brought that ability up to speed with my nomad ability. It was a really good way to sort of balance out. Like if you want to practice a new skill, then taking a long break, or even like a day or two break before doing that is actually really helpful. Like just last weekend, like 4 days ago, I guess, I was out of town for the weekend. And so when I came back, so I've been needing to practice like starting patterns with my other finger, I guess. And when I came back, I was like, you know what? Let me just derust by just starting everything with my middle finger, my other finger, which for me is the 3 button, by the way. Oh, I mentioned in a previous episode that I changed my keybinds because I'm waiting for a new keyboard. But I changed them back, but I haven't even got the new keyboard yet. But I was like, you know what, it really... Okay, changing my keybinds, like, I don't know why, but my aim is like not nearly as comfortable with like different keybinds. So I think I'm just like hard stuck on like the number pad 2 and 3, personally. So, yeah, but yeah, anyway. Let's see, I don't know, hopefully that sort of clears any like misunderstandings or helps you understand how exactly to derust properly. It's, yeah, like I mentioned, it's a really good opportunity to build new habits. And I think I just want to reassure you guys that like being like rusty is not a bad thing, because who was it that made this? Oh shoot, someone made like this Usu theory. I want to say, oh my god, I want to say it was Kiryu, but I could be wrong. But basically this idea of like improvement gets like covered under rust after you take a break. Like there's improvement, but you can't access it without like putting rust over it first, something like that. And the idea is like you want to actually take a break and get rusty, and then like I guess improve that rust. No, get rid of that rust, like, and then the improvement will actually be there, which kind of makes sense because it. I don't know. Maybe it's not the most perfect way to understand it, but the principle is there that you want to like take a break, even if it means, you want to take a break in order to sort of like settle down the improvement that you've done, the skills that you've gained, even if it does mean getting rusty and then derusting afterwards. It is still much more worthwhile than just continuing to improve and be like, oh no, if I take a break, I'm gonna get rusty and I'm gonna be playing worse. I think when you're rusty, you're really only playing worse in the short term. If you're playing worse for like a year or like, I don't know, 6 months or something, if you're like playing, like if you're just like gradually declining in skill, just by, you know, taking healthy breaks and all that stuff, then that is more defined as being washed up, although I'm pretty sure you can always like work past being washed up. I think being washed up is just like the idea of like semi-permanent rust, I feel like. But sometimes if you really feel washed up, you should like look back at your old playstyle and see if there's anything that you had changed. Maybe it was like your area or your pen grip or your keybinds or something like that, that like you thought it would be a good change and like you would be able to get used to it in the future. But then you try, like, I don't know, you've tried and then you realize that like, you play way worse than you did like even a year ago or something like that, or like 2 years ago. Then yeah, just a thought, or maybe like changing skin or something like that. There's a lot of things out there. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful though. Those of you watching in the future, if you liked this video, please subscribe, check out my channel. I have so many videos at this point. I think I've been uploading every day for like 2 months now, which has been very fun, by the way. Very, very rewarding to be uploading so much, and I appreciate all of you guys for watching all these videos and commenting, and you guys are super awesome and wholesome and amazing. But yes, and speaking of you guys, if you guys have any suggestions for future episodes for this series, please leave them in the comment section, because I do read all the comments on these videos, and I also do definitely take episode subject requests. So yeah, with that, also if you have not already stopped by my Twitch streams before, please stop by, say hello. I don't say it for nothing. We'll be very happy to see you there. I stream every single day. So yes, but with that, see you guys next time.